Spotlight, where we bring you unfiltered content about your candidates. Today we have Harshit Tomar contesting for the General Secretary, Hostel Affairs Board. We will have the interview in two segments. In the first segment, we would be asking questions collected from the campus janta, and the second segment will be kind of a rapid fire. The cats and dogs are entering into the mess and students' hostel arena, creating not only issues with hygiene but also causing scariness to students. Under these circumstances, how will you address hygiene?
For the dogs, I propose installing auto closing doors, which will be installed on the hostel main gates as well as for the mess. Currently, some mess already have the auto closing door, but I ensure that mess workers' awareness is also required so that any stray animals that are inside the mess needs to be removed at the instant.
What is the temperature rise in the top floor rooms during summer? Have you collected any data over the months? Every room is equipped with a window and a main door to have a proper circulation. If so, what alternatives do you plan for increasing ventilation?
As for the top floor room temperatures, it approximately reaches 45 degrees. And to counter that, I propose a heat resistant coating on top of the roofs of each hostel, which leads to a decrease in temperature of approximately 5 to 10 degrees.
So the resistive coating was is kind of reflective in some sense, which
Yeah.
is harmful for the planes going over the building. So, do you think it will be approved by the admin?
So you see that the reflecting nature I'm talking about is of the heat, is of conductive nature, not only of the light nature that you are considering कि एंटीना से हम लोगों का जो टीवी प्लेन्स होते हैं वो इफेक्ट होंगे तो इससे वो चीज़ नहीं होगी.
Okay, so you have researched about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have any idea of average sales over the day for stationery? How much is the demand for overnight stationery? And do you have any idea of cost implications for overnight stationery?
See, cost implication part is that currently, as for dual canteens, also we hire vendors based on their application. So we don't have to take into consideration that the number of sales which we will be providing to the stationery. I will say that at least for 8,000 students, we can have at least one overnight stationery because there is no stationery in overall ITG complex, not even in the hostel complex, in market complex, in academic complex. So in case of any need at night, there is no other provision. So there will be a maintained uh, sales of the stationery if we manage to provide one or two stationery overnight stationery.
But like, do you have any data for like how many people want the overnight stationery or not?
I don't have any specific data as such, but after talking to many people during my campaigning periods, I have seen that many people requires many stationery item like for printing and for notebooks, for any stationery items can be possible. So yeah.
But I don't think like people would want the stationery to be opened by around 12 or 2. So like they don't work till 3 4. So overnight stationery won't matter that much. The cost will only increase.
You see, the cost part we don't have to incur. As an ITG, we only provide them infrastructure so that the stationery vendors set up their own stationery. So as for the cost part, I don't think we will be having to incur that. And the sales part, I'm sure that once overnight stationery is started, there will be approximately out of 8,000 people might be coming to one stationery because currently we have 15 stationery. So we can basically do one stationery in one hostel for over the month, or we can do on a rotation basis that each hostel have one stationery opening on alternate days. So in a month, each stationery will be opening for 2 days. So there won't be any sales burden on that stationery also.
In the age of mobiles and social media, why do you find the need of implementing digital standees at the hostel entrances for updates? Other than being an inefficient use of money, their maintenance will pose a big issue as animals will be driven to destruct them. Why is solidifying the existing SWC portals not a better alternative for this?
The proposal which I am proposing is of digital standees. You have seen that in urban cities also. So currently the situation is we have approximately 100 plus events all over the year. So for each event, we have three posters in each hostel. So currently, what do they do is they post them anywhere. So it directly affects the hostel infrastructure. You see, they whenever you take out the poster, it affects the hostel paint. See, To overcome that, I propose an digital standees that will be posted on the hostel main gates. It is not a cost extensive project. Approximately cost between 15 to 20K, and it will also provide a major attraction over standard posters. You see, the phone is something we use rigorously. Sometimes what happens कि हम लोग उतना नहीं देखते हैं उस चीज़ को, है ना, skip हो जाती है. पर digital poster, if you see and standee of height of 4 feet, it will have a much greater attraction than a poster of A4 sheet. जो होता है, हम लोग भी फोन में भी हम इसलिए अट्रैक्टेड होते हैं क्योंकि एक डिजिटल एक मूवमेंट होती है हमारे पास एक स्टैंडर्ड पोस्टर के कंपैरिजन में. तो यही है कि यहाँ पे मेंटेनेंस वाला पार्ट वी विल हैव टू वर्क ऑन दैट, एंड द notifications on that standees can be worked out with SWC.
Also, but the destruction part by the animals in the hostels and campus is inevitable. So, like, how are you planning to control that?
Yeah. So for that part, it's also a part of my agenda that I propose auto closing door in all of the hostels. So the dogs, once the auto closing door will be installed, the percentage of
That
dogs.
only solve for dogs, na?
Yeah.
We have cats in this hang. Like there are, I don't know, mostly around 50 cats are in this hang. So how do you expect they will not destroy the digital standees?
You see that the digital standees isn't something that will be destroyed just by a cat
Yeah,
touching
but
it or
they'll
something. Yeah.
scratch it or something. The screen will be like not good condition.
Yeah. So we can have them installed on walls. You see that the cat can touch only on the ground or something. They have direct contact through. So if they can't have direct contact with it, they can be touching that. And
okay, why do you believe that westernization of toilets will solve the issue of hygiene? On the contrary, many people prefer to use the Indian style washrooms. By doing this, you are stripping them of that choice, while the issue of hygiene still remains as it is because maintenance of both is done in the same way.
You see, in the older hostels, mainly Barak, Umiam, and Brahmaputra, the number of Western toilets is very limited. We have got 8 in Barak, 9 in Umiam, and 12 in Brahmaputra. You see, as for current conditions, in case of any emergency, if someone has any medical condition, what I am proposing is that we can't convert all of the washrooms. Let's say in a toilet, we have got 4 washrooms. Yeah. So out of those 4, what I propose is there should be at least one Western toilet. Rest of the 3 we can have in the Indian style also. So that solves the main part of any emergency.
So it is specifically for some hostels, or all of the hostels have the same problem?
Most of the hostels already have Western toilets, but out of the remaining which don't have Western toilets, I propose installation of Western toilets in them only.
Let's move to the second segment. List all hostels of IIT Guwahati.
As for current working conditions hostel, firstly we have Dikho, MSH, Dhansri, Subansri, Lohit, Siang, Brahmaputra, Kapili, Disang, Ding, Manas, Kaming, Barak, Umiam, and Goram.
How many hostel general body meeting should happen in a calendar year?
We should have at least one monthly meeting of the hostel secretaries.
According to the hostel constitution, what is the minimum quorum required for an HAB meeting to proceed, and which individuals from each hostel can serve as its representatives?
In the hostel meetings?
Yeah.
Hostel general secretaries mostly.
HAB meeting.
Yeah. In HAB meeting, hostel general secretaries should be there.
Who are the runner-ups of GC in last 3 years?
As of 2022-2023, runner-up as in third position. Second, okay. So 2022-2023 was Brahmaputra, and last year it was Barak.
What is HAB PR? Give full form and explain about in one line.
HAB PR means HAB procedures and HAB procedures and procedures mean basically the HAB guidelines which HAB need to follow for any HAB proceedings basically, and for PR means resolutions.